Alright, hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First, I'm gonna give honors to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, God, Kadash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to all my fellow Akim Akwat out there that follow Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai with truth and sincerity. I like to say shalom. I was just watching these videos on this white chick that been famous since this show. For the younger audience, those that are Gen Z, my age and younger, this show, Euphoria. Her name is Sydney Sweeney. Sydney Sweeney, if I'm pronouncing it right. And she pushed out this American Eagle ad that promotes, Edomite supremacy, white supremacy, in a sense. Now, I'm gonna show y'all these videos in these TikToks, how these people react, and how it just, these videos just show you how Esau is still pushing his superiority over the world. Okay, that's what it was. It was not just white superiority; it was white eugenics. Okay, you know how American Eagle is known for jeans? Well, it's a play on words for jeans, like jeans that you wear, in jeans like genetics. So it's a play on words. You just gotta sift through the words and understand what the message is. So I'm gonna play it real quick.
Did American Eagle just run an ad for eugenics?
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney, Casper Jeans.
Totally just talking about denim, right? Just a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman explaining how her good genes gave her personality and purity. I mean, are we really going to pretend that this isn't a little fashy-coded? Look, I'm not saying that Sydney Sweeney personally wrote this ad to revive the Third Reich, but American Eagle absolutely knew what they were doing here. You don't get to drop lines about inherited traits, blue eyes, and great genes while zooming in on somebody that could have walked straight off of a Nazi propaganda poster and expect people not to catch that reference. Good genes used to mean racial purity in fascist circles, and now it's just denim marketing. We are watching fascist aesthetics sneak back into pop culture through fashion ads, trad wife influencers, and yes, now blue jeans. If you think this was an innocent ad, you have not been paying attention. Did American Eagle just...
These clothing brands, they be putting messages, how they really feel. Esau put his messages not on TV, but in these clothing brands. Like a couple years ago, I believe it was Balenciaga, and it was a Jake kid that had the hoodie, coolest monkey in the jungle, and that was on when people saw that was on a rampage. That was on a wildfire. It became popular on the internet. I think it was either Gucci or Balenciaga, but I believe Gucci or Louis Vuitton had let me see, Shalakia, Gucci racist clothes. I think it was Gucci. Yep, blackface. Yep, I remember this too. Gucci had this. Okay, because they was mocking Jake. See, they Esau will mock Jake and will show his superiority through his clothing lines. Coolest monkey in the jungle. Oh, it was H&M. It was H&M. See? Coolest monkey in the jungle. And they knew what they were doing. And H&M wanted to apologize. But they knew these racist ass clothing brands, they hate Jake, but they will use Jake as a face to promote their clothing brand. But now they want to bring out their pride. Let me go back to TikTok. But yeah, this chick right here, she was right. That blonde hair and blue eyes image That's just Esau promoting his superiority, his genetics, because he thinks he's the pinnacle of man. But that actually goes back to the Nazis, what they'll call what's it called, Aryanism, if I'm not mistaken. Aryanism. Yeah, this is what's called Aryanism. No, Shalakia. Aryan. Look. Not Aryanism, Aryan. So basically, Aryans. It says Aryans, in Nazi terminology, this word was used to describe the people of Northwest European descent with pure blood. Typical and desirable physical traits include blonde hair and blue eyes, right? And they think that's the pinnacle of man. But that's actually an inferior look. Okay? That's not superior, that's inferior, that's subhuman. Okay? Let me see, Aryan. And the true Aryans were Edomites. I believe they were a people of color. Aryan, blonde hair, blue eye. Yep. It says the Aryan master races was blonde with blue eyes, tall, muscular, chiseled faces, and strong. Right, and these are Edomites. See, this is what they wanted. The blonde hair and blue-eyed German look. That's why a lot of Germans in Germany have this look. Okay, because Esau wanted to promote his superiority. And Esau actually, man, Edomite supremacy have done so much destruction throughout the world that people literally think that blonde hair and blue eyes is the pinnacle of man, which is not. Having melanated skin, kinky hair, and broad nose, or for the Northern Kingdom, olive skin or straight hair. That's what you're supposed to look like. You're supposed to be, the pinnacle of beauty is the so-called Black, Hispanics, Native Americans. Okay, not this. So blue jeans,
Run an ad for
blue
you.
jeans, actually, not just talking about blue jeans as in pants, but in genetics. We call it American evil, eugenics. America Eagle.
The words we use are never unintentional,
It's a
and
racist
so
ass
for
fucking
American
word.
Eagle to say that the words we use are never unintentional, and so for American Eagle to say that Sydney Sweeney has good genes is not an accident. So there's an ad that was grabbed from the internet that said why Sydney Sweeney has good genes. It talks about how genes are passed down throughout time from your mother, from your father, and you get your genes from your parents. Her genes are blue. She wanted us all to know her genes are blue. And this is not a far cry to say that it is the amping up of eugenics in this country. It is the ramping up of choosing certain models, people to promote certain items that look like what they want their customers to look like. Now, I'm in marketing. I'm not away from understanding what a target market is. Like, I understand the KPIs. I understand your SWOT analysis. Please. But what I will say is that this marketing campaign, no marketing campaign is ever unintentional, and no marketing campaign doesn't know what they're doing with the language that they're using. In marketing, in communications, the language that you use is so important. You need to be impeccable with your word always. And so with that being said, them choosing Sydney Sweeney has great genes was not an accident. It is a signal, it's a dog whistle towards the rise of conservatism in this country. It's a dog whistle towards the rise of people who are wanting to see more people that look like them everywhere, and less diversity, less minorities, less people of different backgrounds in their media. This signals to them that American Eagle is on their side. The signals
Right.
to them, to people who are white supremacists, people that decide that they would like to exclude others from the American experience.
Right. And those people are the Edomites. Okay, so-called Caucasians, white people, people that look like her, they are Edomites, according to the Bible. And they know that they are the fewest amongst the nations. I've been watching a lot of videos of Edomites creating their own white-owned towns. And there's always been white-owned towns. But Esau knows that he is few amongst the heathens. So he's pushing his propaganda. He's pushing his ideal look upon his people so they can reproduce more. Okay? Because they're not reproducing like that. Now, if you watch, watching this video of this Jake woman, she got blonde hair because she want to, resemble her Edomite master, but still, taking the meat, spit out the bones. These Edomites, they're terrified. They're scared because there's people looking like her taking over. All right, and not just her. I'm saying people of color are populated more than people that look like Sydney Sweetie. And let me say this, man. Sydney Sweetie, she's not really that good looking. I mean, she's cute. She's an Edomite, yeah. But like, she could be a Jake. I don't know, but she's not really. She's just there for the male gaze, for the male audience. She was popular. She became really popular through that show Euphoria, and then she became very popular throughout different ads and commercials and stuff like that. And the main reasons why she's popular because she just got big titties. I'm just gonna put it like that. All right, they just using her as a sex appeal and a sexual imagery to push out that over sexualization for the male gaze. Okay, and many blonde hair and blue eyed chicks like what's that girl, Sabrina Carpenter. Okay, see these Edomites, they know that they're dying out. Okay, they're pushing their propaganda, not just to mock Jake, but to increase Edomite pride. Okay, messaging like, oh, for those that got blonde hair and blue eyes, lay with people that have blonde hair and blue eyes so we can continue our race. Because Esau is dying out, man. So let me play this video.
This shows that they're safe at American Eagle. This shows that they have a place where they can finally get jeans because Levi's is too liberal with their partnership with Beyonce and all these other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is ever uninsidious when it comes to the way that we see the products that we are being wanted to buy. No one in that marketing team decided that Sydney Sweeney has great genes. No one thought that could be a bad look in the face. But then again, we are living in a post-DEI world. And that's something we need to also acknowledge, is that we are living in a post-DEI world where people think that being diverse is a bad thing. They think that it is a government-sponsored or previous...
Right, because right after DJ Trump came into office, he destroyed that whole DEI thing. You know what I'm saying? Diversity is done. Okay? Esau is now, and when I speak of Esau, these Edomites are tired of seeing people of color around their neighborhoods. They're tired of seeing their neighbors a different race or a different ethnic group than theirs. They're tired of streets that was once filled with, white features. Cities are now filled with people of various of skin colors and darker skin. That's what they're afraid of. They're being outnumbered. And like she said, Eve is right. in the marketing world, you don't send out a message unintentionally. You know, you have a marketing team, people that design stuff like that, and they send it out to the public. But everything is intentional, okay, in the marketing world. If you want to make a pair of jeans, this could have been a different. This should have been a different way of promoting jeans in a different type of way. You know what I'm saying? But Esau chose this way because he's pushing out that propaganda. All right, so-called white people are. I'm just gonna say the white man. All right, Esau Edom is pushing out this propaganda because the white man is dying out. That's the truth. His women love Jake and these other nations. His men are sodomites and stuff like that. So these men are these Edomites. They are afraid because they're outnumbered.
This government sponsored plot or ploy for some stupid reason, whatever. I think that they were very intentional with what they were doing with this marketing campaign. I think that they knew what they were doing with this marketing campaign, and they saw it, they did the test, and they didn't care. So what I will say to that is they did the cost analysis, they did their focus groups, and they kind of realized that minorities weren't really rocking with Sydney Sweeney anyway. And then they probably saw what they were doing with.
Be honest with you, she's not really appealing. I mean, Jake loved white women, but I don't know. She's always, her face is constantly shown. All right, on Sasquatch commercials, men's deodorant commercial, fucking bra commercials and stuff like that, whatever. Okay, so Esau is
this marketing campaign, and they saw it, they did the test.
Esau is pushing his imagery through his women. All right, he's not his imagery. He's pushing sexualization through his women, especially the low-level women like Sydney Sweeney.
And they didn't care. So what I will say to that is they did the cost and brand. Like, think about it. You have to think about how popular the Sydney Sweeney SWAT, but they kind of saw it that they don't, and they kind of realized that minorities weren't really rocking with Sydney Sweeney anyway. And then they probably saw that a lot of black people do buy their jeans from American Eagle, but they kind of saw it that they don't care because Sydney Sweeney will be the person to save the failing brand. Like, think about it. You have to think about how popular the Sydney Sweeney Squatch soap ads have been, or even just the discourse surrounding it has been insane. So they were like, of course we're going to choose Sydney Sweeney for American Eagle. That is what makes the most sense. But what I will say is that the marketing, talking about her beautiful blue eyes, concerning. And I think that they know that, so that's why the ad was scrubbed from the internet before I could find it to repost it. But I did hear the ad, I did see the ad, and I'm glad that I did, because that is just beyond the pale. Sydney Sweeney definitely has her fan base, and you kind of know who those people who were always going to be fans of Sydney Sweeney are. And the people who were fans of Sydney Sweeney before will be fans of Sydney Sweeney after this as well. But yeah, it's really interesting that they went with Sydney Sweeney has good genes.
Yep. Let me see. And this is Sabrina
This is going to be the last thing that I say about the Sabrina Carpenter album cover, but
seeing the Sydney Sweeney Great Jeans ad is giving me grad school flashbacks. Hello, I'm a neuroscientist. I got my PhD in a biology department. And ugly, racist, eugenic, sexist ideas have run through the fabric of the biological field for centuries. Darwin's theory of natural selection is taught so uncritically.
Nothing Sydney Sweeney has done has ever moved me. Like, none of the conversations surrounding her has ever moved me. Nothing. Oh, she over-sexualizes herself. She's always doing things with her titties first. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. Nothing has ever moved me that has been concerning her, even when she sold soap with her bathwater. But this recent American Eagle ad is the first time that I've paid attention. Because what do you mean American Eagle is using Sydney Sweeney?
Esau's pride. Okay, American Eagle. The eagle represents Esau. You know, now I'm thinking about it. She could be Edomite. She could just be a straight Edomite.
Blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman to make several videos, several ads with implication of supreme genes. But genes, Geans, is implied as Genes. And you might be thinking that's a reach. Obviously, they didn't mean it that way. This was on their page. This is on their TikTok. They actually spelled it out. Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Genes, and that she comes in and cancels the genes and then spells it the other way. This is actually fucking scary. This is actually, what do you mean at the height of eugenicist rhetoric on the internet? This is when American Eagle felt compelled to make this video. The entire comment section of this video, all of the videos surrounding her are like, oh, she's over-sexualizing herself. Sexualization is bad. She's doing this for the male gaze. She's doing this for the male. She's doing this for the white supremacist gaze. That's what I think we should be talking about. She's doing this for the white supremacist gaze, because who else would feel comforted by the idea of a blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman having supreme genes to the rest of the people? That, like, I feel like that's what the discourse should be about. But again, people are focused on her chest, on her titties. This is what's actually scaring me. Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Terrifying.
Yeah, man. Esau is pushing out that image of blonde hair and blue eyes. And that is against Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay, let me see. Let me see. This is let me see. Give me 1 second. Moses' sister, leprosy. Right, because Moses' sister Miriam, there we go, was turned into a white woman because the Lord took away her pigmentation because she went against Moses. I'm gonna start at this is Numbers 12. And 1. And Miriam and Aaron spake against Moses because the Ethiopian woman whom he had married, for he had married an Ethiopian woman, right? And Miriam is an Israelite woman, and she's mad because Moses, a Levite man, is laying with a Hamite woman. But according to the scriptures, we can have women of the other nations, but we can't follow their gods. So yes, you can deal with the white woman, just don't follow her Christianity. Yes, you can deal with a Muslim woman, an Arabic woman, just don't follow her Islamic ways. Yes, you can have an East Indian woman, but don't follow her Hindu ways, how the way she was growing up. So yes, we can deal with women from these other nations, but we can't follow the ways, their customs, and their idols, because that's going off. We are supposed to be the image, the pinnacle of how these nations should be living. They should be following us, not us following them. This is 2. And they said, hath the Lord indeed spoke only by Moses? It says, hath he not spoken also by us? And the Lord Yahweh heard it. Now the man Moses was very meek above all the men which were upon the face of the earth. And the Lord spoke suddenly unto Moses, and said unto Aaron, unto Miriam, come out ye 3 unto the tabernacle of the congregation. And thy 3 came out, and the Lord came down in the pillar of the cloud, and stood in the door of the tabernacle, and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both came forth. And he said, hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision, and will speak unto him in a dream. My servant Moses is not so. So is faithful in all my house. With him I speak mouth to mouth, and even apparently, and not in dark speeches. In the similitude of the Lord shall he behold. Wherefore, wherefore then, ye are not afraid to speak against my servant Moses. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against him, and he departed. And the cloud departed from off the tabernacle. And behold, Miriam became leprous, white as snow. And Aaron looked upon Miriam, and behold, she was leprous, right? She lost her pigmentation. She lost her melanin. Okay? That's why they got that, that's where you get albinoism from, when you're born with the lack of melanin. That's why in every species of animal on the planet, when there's a certain specimen from a species that's have albinoism, the other species of their kind looked at them weirdly. Like, for example, crocodiles. If there were 20 crocodiles, but one of them is the albino, the other full green or brown or dark gray crocodile is gonna look at him like he's an alien, like he's a freak of nature. Because you're supposed to have pigmentation. Every animal on this planet has pigmentation in their own form of way and color and hues. Okay? So us Israelites, we come in different variations of brown. That's our pigmentation color. And we supposed to be dark, I mean, not dark skinned, but we various shades of brown, from light brown to dark brown. But, you know, an Israelite is supposed to have melanin. But we're so scared amongst these other nations that we look like these other nations and we come out very, very lighter or fair skin. But don't worry, you know, Israelites that don't have that skin color, that pigmentation, you're going to get it back with that brand new body. But Miriam, on the other hand, she was turned into a white woman. And so, okay, so this is 11. And Aaron said unto Moses, Alas, my Lord, I beseech thee, lay not the sin upon us, wherein we have done foolishly, and wherein we have sinned. Let not her, it says, let her not be as one dead, of whom the flesh is half consumed, when he cometh out of his mother's womb. And Moses cried unto the Lord, saying, Heal her now, O Yahweh, I beseech thee. Okay, and it says, 14, and the Lord said unto Moses, If her father had put spit in her face, should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that let her be received. And again, and Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. Afterward, the people removed from Hazareth and pitched in the wilderness of Paran. So, amen. She had to leave the Israelites for 7 days because of that pigmentation or that unclean skin. Okay, she had to be a white woman. Okay, Miriam was once a Levite woman. Now she's a white woman for only 7 days. So she had to, and it was hot back then. Back then it was super hot. You needed dark skin to survive. But now her pigmentation was taken away, and she had to live out that hot landscape, sunburned and red. Come on, man, being sunburned and red, man. But let me go down to Obadiah real quick. This is Obadiah 1. And actually, yep. Obadiah 1:1. The vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, concerning Edom. We have made a rumor from the Lord. An ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised, right? Because these so-called white people think they're the most fertile, the most baby producing people on the planet. They think they're the most outnumbered people on the planet, which they're not. They're very small amongst all races upon the planet. Every race has pigmentation, and they're small. But they mess with, you know, stats and numbers and population rates, that they make themselves the top people on the planet. So let me go back real quick. So they'll push blonde hair and blue eyes as the pinnacle of beauty. That's why you see our women with blonde hair and blue eyes. They will have in a two-way stand. You got Israelite women that are mixed with Edomites. All right, their father might be Jake, but their mother Edomite. They come out with blonde hair and blue eyes, so they're okay. That's natural. There's nothing they can do about that. But I'm saying about women, women that are fully melanated and pigmentation. You'll see a dark-skinned Israelite woman with dyed blonde weave and blue-eyed contacts, and even Jake too. Okay, Jake would some of these Jake men would put blue-eyed contacts, or go to a surgery to make their eyes actually blue. All right, go to a whole surgical doctor to make their eyes blue or lighter. All right, even amongst the Hispanic tribes, I was talking to a girl, dealing with a girl long ago. She's from the tribe of Zebulon, and she said that she wasn't treated fairly as of how her cousin was. She wasn't treated as fairly like how her cousins that had lighter skin, because her cousins were lighter than her, and she was my skin complexion. She was she was tan, a little light brown, but a little tan, a little darker. But she's from the Northern Kingdom, okay? Straight up from Ecuadoria. What's it called? Ecuador. But she was get treated like shit because she was more darker, or her family looked over her because of her complexion. But her younger siblings, no, our cousins, they had lighter skin, so they were treated better. They were treated more higher than her. But that's all colorism is and bullshit, man. Okay. They actually, an Israelite not supposed to have blonde hair and blue eyes. Okay, that's inferior. That's against nature. All right, when you have blonde hair, that's dead hair. Your hair is not alive. That's why the Lord gave us brown hair and brown eyes, or black hair, because that UVA rays, and the energy from the sun energizes our hair. And when you have dark brown eyes, you see more colors. Okay, when you have melanin, you taste things better, you hear things better, you sense things better, you can feel things better. Your senses are higher, especially when you have the Israelite melanin. Okay. So this is Obadiah 1 and 2. Behold, I made thee small among the heathen, thou art greatly despised. This is 3. The pride of thy heart have deceived thee. It says, though that dwellest in the cliffs of the rocks, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Right, because Esau is known as the Caucasians. The Edomites in the Bible are the so-called Caucasians today. That's why they're called Caucasian. The word Caucasian means cave dweller. That's why when you watch movies and cartoons and shows, Esau, when he talk about history, he always go back to the Stone Age, that caveman era, because that's what he used to be, a caveman. The Flintstones, the Croods, that's actually Esau Edom. That movie Quest for Fire, that's Esau Edom. Okay, and that theory of evolution is a mockery to you Jakes, because yes, Esau did come from people of color, but he was quick to call those people of color monkeys, because Isaac and Rebecca, okay, Isaac and Rebecca, no, hold on, I'm sorry, Isaac and, hold on, Esau's mother, mother. Yep, Isaac and Rebecca, Shalaki. Isaac and Rebecca will be called, Judites today. They'll be called African Americans today. Are they from the lineage of Ibar, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? So they're Hebrews. So Esau, when he made that theory of man came from apes, that's a mockery to you Jakes, because they'll call us apes, because how dark we look. You know? So Esau is the Caucasian, so-called white people. 4, it says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, it says, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down to the ground. So right, the Lord is going to bring Esau down to the ground. And he set his nest among the stars, which is these NASA space programs and facilities, man. But his symbol, everywhere Esau goes, he has the symbol of the eagle. The symbol of America is the eagle. The symbol of Germany is the eagle. The symbol of France is eagle. Nazi Germany was the eagle. Rome, the eagle. Greece, the eagle. Idumea, the eagle. Because the eagle is the proudest of all the birds and flies the highest. All right. So American eagle, which is Esau Edom, all right, in a spiritual sense, saying that having good genes is blind ear and blue eyes. He wants to push his white superiority throughout the world because he don't got that much time left. All right. So this man is done, man. So with that, Sydney Sweetie, man, she's just a big titty Edomite. Yeah, now I'm gonna give her olive branches. She's a Jake. She's just gonna come back in a lineage of Jake, but all reality, she there's a high chance that she's just an Edomite, a big titty Edomite. But with that, call all Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kadash. Shalom.